Thank you, Gesho. That is indeed a crazy, crazy game we just witnessed. That being said, there were some pretty interesting things we picked up on while we were watching the game. So why don't burstfire start us off?
Yeah, so I guess we could just start at the draft. I think that makes a lot of sense. So this is a very typical on blue side M4. It's very typical Valaris comp. I think they had basically three scaling lanes and a scaling jungle. The idea was essentially to just have better macro, better decision making than their opponents, maybe even better mechanics, somehow get to late game and then instantly win. I think it was definitely a bit greedy because all the picks make sense, right? And all the matchups make sense. So Jackson to Cannon is actually okay. It's obviously like good for Cannon, but it's fine for Jax as well. I think Corki into Yone is maybe a bit rough, but ultimately, Corki can kind of scale. It's not too bad. I think Gwen's a really good pick into Xin Zhao, and Kai'Sa Nort, you can pretty much pick it every game, right? I think the problem here was that you have basically, yeah, three scaling lanes and a scaling jungle. So I really would have liked to see, Java and Lee Sin on, or even like a Rek'Sai Olaf or something like this for Nubad, but obviously we didn't. So I think the draft is probably a big factor in that game as well.
Yep. Fair enough. What were your thoughts on the draft, Roger?
I mean, first of all, correct prediction from me. I clearly said Avalanche Blue was going to win, didn't I? First, yeah,
No.
yep, yep. We agreed
Uh,
on that. Yeah. Secondly, look, I think I had a lot to say about how much I disliked that draft on Blue side and um my issues with it. But while the game was ongoing, that Gwen pick really rubbed me the wrong way. Like, not so much um the Gwen itself, but just I just don't think she does enough for that comp
Right.
in general. Um, Definitely ganking wise, utility wise, I just do not think that that was the champ there. On top of that, like watching the top lane, there was definitely quite a few, I believe, misplays from the Cannon versus Jax, which allowed the Jax to actually get that monstrous lead and basically shut down that cannon relatively early, which is not really what you want to see in that sort of lane, as Jax should have been the weak side there.
Yep.
On top of that, I think everyone's still a little bit fresh coming into this game because there was a few moments where there was a few surprises that you see people that are just like, oh, wait, what's happening now? Why am I out of position? And now I'm dead. Particularly that bot gank where Caitlyn just straight up died right under the bot tower. That was a little bit, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. And just watching them get dismantled when they definitely should have been relying on focusing and having that macro game there, it hurt. It hurt to watch.
Yeah, I
So,
don't I don't think it was like a focus thing. I think it was in general. I think that Red Side's comp was very straightforward, right? They're like, okay, we're gonna have team fighting, we've got an early game jungle, we're gonna play through, mid bot, we have Kate Karma. Very, very simple. And Blue Side's comp was very reactive. In terms of the Gwen,
mm,
like I really like Gwen as a jungler, it's, Karthus, these sorts of champions. The problem was, yeah, they just didn't have really a lane to play through. I
mm,
guess on paper maybe they wanted to play through bottom lane and that just didn't work out. But I don't know why
mm,
you're trying to play through. Like if you're trying to play through bottom, I don't know why you would first pick the Kai'Sa. I feel like you would save that. So I guess they were trying to play through top. I guess, but Jax isn't really an oppressive. Like if you're gonna pick Gwen jungle, in my opinion, you really need someone to force a gank. So you need like,
mm.
Akshan middle, Jace top, LeBlanc, like any sort of champion where the enemy like who's pushed up and then the enemy's gonna gank. But Corki can't really get a
Well,
good push into Yone, because well, I guess Yone can just kind of trade on him.
mm. Well, they did have the Nautilus. I guess they were relying on that to set up the ganks, but it just wasn't enough in the end. So, what can you do in that case? Also, we have had our game two announced.
Yep,
Uh,
it's going to be between mcom M16 and our mighty Rubbacks. So another mcom team gets a chance to have their game on stream. So that should be pretty interesting because Pass unfortunately have forfeited their games today. So yeah, that should be
that
pretty good.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like people keep asking to see Parse, and every time we try to get them on stream, it's just like something happens and it just doesn't happen.
They're probably all playing solo queue, honestly. I saw Dis was getting pretty high.
Whoops.
Oopsies.
What you doing, Parse? But yeah. Are we good with the recap from that last game? Shall we move on to the next?
I think we should. So as I said, it's going to be between mcom M16 and our mighty Rubbacks. So mcom M16 in the standings table 11 and 4 prior to this week, and our mighty Rubbacks at 8 and 7. So it should be pretty interesting to see how our mighty Rubbacks are going to play against a team that has been a bit more successful in this tournament, if they're going to change their play style or if they have done their homework. But yeah, before we start, I gotta go with gotta ask you guys any predictions for this game in terms of who's winning.
MCOM have had a really strong start in this tournament, so their losses have been relatively recent. So for real this time, not going for the underdog, as I normally tend to. I am definitely thinking they have a really good chance to take this one home and do the home base proud. RMIT have been a little bit patchy. They've had some really good performances. They've got some good players on there, but they've also been running into some bad luck and some pretty tough matchups. So I am still definitely thinking mcom for this one.
Fair enough. But I bet you always want to go with underdog, huh?
Look, I normally do, but I've been bullied about 20 minutes ago.
A minute. I wouldn't call it
Literally.
bullying. I literally said, okay, you said your strategy for picking the team that was going to win was to figure out who the worst team was and then pick that one. And I said, as a betting strategy, that's not particularly effective.
Look, I'm just
bullying.
nice, okay? I always want everyone to do their best, okay? I just want everyone to win. Is that too much?
Yes, because in a game where only one winner can. Sorry, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, everyone can win. Yeah, great.
Yep. Everyone can win, no matter the draft, no matter the skill level. Everyone can win, and that's what
Please,
about
I
video
will
game.
announce them a winner in my prediction, okay? It doesn't mean much, but it's something, okay?
Fair enough. What about you, Burstfire? Who's taking this one home?
Yeah, I think M16. I think M16 is just better. Like RMIT is actually okay for like middle of the pack, but I feel like M16 is just a better team overall. Like obviously Silvercross and De Jong, very good players. I don't know if Saf is actually subbing in. He's been pretty busy in solo queue playing Gragas jungle for some reason. But I don't know. I just think M16 are probably just gonna win.
Yep. From what I'm seeing, Saf is not playing today.
Mhm.
It's going to be Baked Chicken 3. So I'm not too sure who that is. It might be obviously
That's
a
the
name
main top
change of
laner, yeah.
sorts.
That is
Right.
the main top laner, yeah.
Pretty
But I don't know who
change.
Baked Chicken 3 is, but I'm sure he's better than Baked Chicken 2.
Let's hope so.
Or are
So
the
this
baked
team,
chickens in order? And baked
yeah,
chicken is the best, number one.
hopefully.
And three is.
So the M16 team doesn't really need a lot of introduction. We know how good they're, but the RMIT team, they're still looking to make a name for themselves. We got on that side, we got Jacko, QQ only, KS Magi, Armadillo, and Star Tier. So
yeah, they're all floating around the diamond to master level, which is about average or to be expected for this level. And I think this tournament's just a great opportunity and really great experience for their team. So I am really looking forward to seeing just to see them grow between week one and till now to see what they come up with. I mean, regardless of anything, RMIT as a team have shown up week in, week out, and have been doing better every week, I believe. So would love to see what they bring to the table this time, especially knowing that they're going up against one of the top teams. So, maybe there will be an underdog. Maybe.
So we always hope for the underdog story
Look,
for them to come up and win,
I'm
right?
hoping
Always.
every time.
Every single time. I'm personally an underdog like Casper. I always go for the underdog because when they win, it's so satisfying.
I hate that. There's no integrity there. Like, because what you want, right, is like if you're wrong, right, and the real team or the favorite wins, right, and you're like, oh well, I love an underdog. Oh well, and then if the underdog wins, you're like, I knew it. I believed in them the whole time. Like, you're literally you're shameless. Like the whole point of a prediction.
Exactly.
I think this team is going to win higher than 50%. So if you always pick the underdog, it's like absolute rubbish. I mean, unless you're always wrong. If you're always wrong, that's impressive, right? It's like that Spider-Man thing where he gets every question wrong on the test. Like, fair enough, okay? But like, no, like unacceptable. Like,
You see, I'm being bullied. This is it. This is bullying.
I feel attacked. All right.
It's always about the coin flip meta. Okay, flip a coin. You see, it's random.
But it's worse than flipping a coin because you're not randomly picking them. You're intentionally picking the worst team. You're griefing. You're like running it down in predictions.
Okay, look,
running it down. This is believing.
See, burstfire, I would agree with you on that. However, Worlds 2021 final did happen. So I don't know what
I lost $100 on that game. Yeah, actually, yeah, fair enough. I spent the whole tournament making these little bets, and I like built it all up, and then I lost like half of it on the final.
Oh no!
How did EG win? I'm actually still mad about that, by the way. Like, someone actually just choked so hard.
Like, do I need to remind you guys, what was it, like 2016, 2017, Albus Nox Luna, who came in as a wild card and made it to like finals in Worlds? Like,
but they didn't though. It was like a group stage. Like it was very impressive. All right, I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but everyone remembers them as like Albus Nox won Worlds in 2019.
It's doable, all right. The underdog exists.
They won. You don't have to look too far. You don't look to try to see an underdog. MSI 2021. PGG beat Cloud9.
Wow, they won a game, guys. Like so that was good because I think it was like the furthest we'd gone at like MSI or something like that, which is good. But like,
didn't Cloud9 admit they were partying the night before?
They're coping. They're coping.
If they give an excuse before the game, sure. But you can't say that after.
They're coping. We beat them. My point is just like when you look at like the MSI or whatever, it's like, yeah, we won it, and then the next game we just get completely destroyed. It's like, oh well, we beat Cloud9, guys. It's like, yeah, but then we just ran it down. And if we listen to the comms, like the players on PGG are literally talking about, oh well, guys, we were never gonna win this one anyway. It's like, come on, guys, like.
The goal setting, the goal wasn't to win MSI, it was to make it to.
It was to make memes. Make memes and have fun.
You can't lose the game before you even go in. You gotta get that mental under control.
Yeah, it's like they went in and 3 minutes in. I was watching like their YouTube channel. 3 minutes in, they're like, "Well, boys, we had a good run." 3 minutes. And then Palmer's like, "Oh, they took my chickens, so I had to invade them."
Speaking of PGG, Palmer going out of OCE. Ooh,
Goodbye, OCE again.
Goodbye, OCE.
We'll see you again in 3 years, I guess.
100%. I'm excited to see how OCO is going to pan out in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll see some spicy matches.
But I mean, in the next couple of years.
Yeah. It should be pretty interesting. It seemed it. I don't want to jinx. I'm touching my table made out of wood here, but it seems like OCE, League of Legends, and esports in general are going up a bit. So we can only hope. We can only cope. We
Yeah,
can
but every time we
only
get
hope.
any good players, they just like yoink them overseas like instantly.
Yeah,
Get
basically.
out.
So we're never gonna actually be good unless players just decide. Like what we need to do, right, is we need to somehow find 5 like really good players in amateur, really good all year, lock them into contracts for 1 year, and somehow win LCO, win MSI, win Worlds all in 1 year, and then we'll and that'll be it. Yeah,
That's
You're
my
not
goal.
asking for much, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically
Nah,
looking
just
for a
go
bunch of
win
12-year-olds right now, and I'm going to train them up for 6 years, and then we're just gonna clean up LCO.
Okay,
That's
look,
the plan.
just a stupid scheme.
So,
I'll
guys,
have
if you're
your
12 years
contracts.
old, my DMs are open.
Whoa.
Legally speaking,
We don't talk about it.
if you are 12 years old, do not message strangers on the internet.
Yes, you shouldn't be here. You can't be watching this if you're at that
Is
age.
it
So
your
go.
bedtime, guys?
Even if those strangers have their Twitter handles underneath.
See,
There
see
we
what
go.
I find most funny is I know for a fact that burstfire, he said that unironically. He wasn't making a joke there, right? He wasn't going at an angle. He actually wanted to make like a super team.
I think
Sometimes I figure it out after I say it, and then I'm like,
Yep.
oh,
Oh no.
that's what that
That
is.
goes.
We don't talk
that
about
goes
it. Because I knew as soon
Alright.
as it was a pause, I was just like, okay, they just pause for no reason. I was like, oh crap.
let's just move on. We had nothing.
We're
I
chilling.
don't know what you're talking about. The past 1-2 minutes did not happen.
Yeah. League of Legends.
It's just
Is it
Nobody
hot
said
news?
this. Like, yeah.
So true. Anyways,
League of
let's talk
Legends.
about League of Legends. Yes. Speaking
Are we
of
ready
League
to
of
go?
Legends,
Game.
it's
Please
a
start
good
the game
game.
soon.
It's a good game. However, it seems the teams are not yet ready. So we need to torch you guys a bit more with some analyst shenanigans. I do want to
Meanwhile,
talk
I like
about
how our
Zeri.
views just went up because someone warned the players that Burstfire is hunting for underage children.
Exactly. It's all about the content. See, it's the meta. It's like people hunt for drama to get Twitch viewers. It's what we do. It's all for the viewers.
Oh yeah, it was all
for the
planned.
content.
Yeah.
It was all planned. You guys don't understand. It's all planned. Do not worry about it.
Disclaimer. Burstfire is
Quite-
not actually on the prowl for underage children.
Yes.
We are not looking to get banned. Please don't ban us.
He just on the phone. He's not here. He literally just left. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on from this. Let's move on. Anyways, I want to talk about the announcements and the revelations that happened. I think it was yesterday. Zeri happened. I think Zeri was revealed day before yesterday. Pretty interesting. I don't get to talk about it because I'm going into champs like.
Never mind. We are in champ select, boys. Let's switch over because bans are about to start, and they've started.
League of Legends, thank goodness. All right. Egg Chicken 3, obviously showing up in the top lane. Have to see what he's going to be banning today. Are there any targets? I don't think there are any targets on either team. Oh, Evelyn, that's probably a target. I don't know. I see Snoozy.
Yep.
I'm going to look up Snoozy right now.
And that's another Hecarim ban. We've been seeing that face a lot. He's pretty strong right now.
Yeah, Hecarim very good.
Yep, a very frequently picked across all elos. So, and there goes that Victor, initiated. Because I don't know about the Zoe. This is just going at lightning speed. I can't even mention anything.
We don't GG.
Sorry,
Pro. What is it? I forgot what it's called.
And wow. Okay, so we've got our first pick, and it looks like it's going to be a red side pick.
Oh, actually, I think Snoozy is an Eve dude. Like, he doesn't play it much, but he's got like a really insane win rate, like 10-1 last year. I think he's like 3-0 recently, 5-2 the year before. I don't know. Maybe this isn't like his main account. I'm not sure, but he seems to be quite good at Evelyn, so that's why they banned it away.
Yep.
It could also very well be that she counters whatever they're planning. We don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Eve's more of like a
Zhao,
blind pick, like a full
Yeah.
clear jungle. Xin is a good first pick, not bad. I mean, it's not the best.
It's safe.
It's okay. Yeah, I think Jarvan, Lee Sin, and Zhao, they're all very similar champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
6 of one, half dozen of another.
Okay, that's quite a quote.
You didn't hear that before?
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Wayne coming in for Jacko.
And-
Okay.
And
Vayne
that's
Lulu, pretty good.
Vayne Lulu. Yep, that's
Lulu, of course. Statia is not playing. Okay, I thought he was going to be
Vocalistic
playing
girl.
in this game. Interesting.
make it happen. Come on, lock that in.
I don't think Kai'Sa is good into Vayne because Vayne can actually win trades, and if Vayne
Yeah.
can win lane, it's like doomed. So I think you should pick Draven, Callista, Jhin,
Lock it in.
Caitlyn.
No! Oh, come on! Why are you crushing my hopes and dreams like that?
I mean, like it's okay. Just the problem with Kai'Sa is like it can't punish the Vayne. So Vayne Lulu is
Yeah.
going to scale for free. If
Mhm.
Vayne goes PTA, she's actually really strong early game. She goes lethal, she scales really well. So I don't like Kai'Sa
Yeah.
unless you're pairing that with like a Nautilus or something else.
bot?
No, I don't like this at
Bot?
all.
No.
Okay, Rakan. Yeah, Rakan's actually
These guys are
acceptable.
just teasing us at this point.
I think if they pick Bard here, they're actually trolling because they just give Vayne like the freest lane ever if they do that. So I think Rakan's acceptable. Like Rakan Bard are like interchangeable in many respects, but in terms of lane phase, like Rakan's just so much better in lane, and with the Xin Zhao as well. So that's actually
Yep.
fine. I don't mind that. Just pick jungle here, I guess. Yeah, Talon makes sense. Talon's pretty good into most matchups. He's kind of like, I guess you could throw him up there with the Jarvans and Zhao, Lee Sin.
Mhm.
He's more of a counter to them though, because he can't really aggressively gank in the same way. Like he doesn't have the CC.
Right.
But into a Zen, he can easily like counter gank and things. But unlike the Gwen, he actually is like
He's
much
a prime
better,
ganker.
much more mobile. Yeah.
But I do like how they banned the Hecarim and then went with the Talons, so they are definitely looking for mobility with their team.
Yep. So we got set ban, and then we have Silas. Okay.
Yep, that's correct. And that's a Gragas. I almost forgot his name because I never picked that champ. I forgot he existed for a second.
What about the Gragas ban? Is that a Gragas mid
Sure.
ban or a Gragas top ban?
That's a Gragas beard ban because.
Oh, it'd be Gragas top. It'd be Gragas top ban.
Oh,
and
is that
Roxel?
No.
I think Ornn and
No.
Shen, they're both good. They're both good. Because
Yeah.
they do
I wanna
different
see
things.
Ornn, please.
Well, Ornn's actually in a really good spot at the moment because he appeared in right cinematic, which means he's obviously busted.
He's gonna be good.
He's gonna be good.
no.
Same with Rek'Sai, Sejuani. So the thing with Shen is so Shen and Ornn are both good for different reasons. So if you go the Ornn, you're going more like scaling, engage heavy, things like this. If you go the Shen, you're going more of a peel to Vayne. And Shen Lulu with a Vayne, this is classic like years old combo. Obviously Talon jungle is a more modern thing, but that could easily be a Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, Jarvan, which are all old fashioned. So
Interesting
Red side is very
pick there. So that's a Scion top and a Xin jungle, and they Ezreal? No, that's not an Ezreal pick. They're just
trolling.
They're just trolling me again.
Yeah, the trolls are very much apparent tonight, apparently.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Yep.
That makes more sense. There we go.
I still don't know where everyone's
Kiana.
going. I would assume it's Kiana mid, but I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Scion top, Kiana mid, Xin jungle. However, it is possible for Kiana jungle. And the Vex mid.
I have no idea where anyone's going this game.
But basically, it looks like RMIT's going for a classic Protect the Vayne comp, whereas mcom's very interesting. They're going for a very AoE engage, team fight, and lockdown type of comp. So they're basically more control versus the scaling protect the vein, which is it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, see, I thought it was going to be like a Xin Zhao mid and a Kiana jungle, or like a Xin Zhao top and a Sion mid or something like that. But they're just gone the most obvious version
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
comp. Okay.
No,
I don't know how.
we don't change things up in OC. We don't innovate here.
I I don't know how Kiana Vex matchup goes because that's obviously quite new, but I do
Yeah.
know that Yon and Yasuo don't do well into Vex, so Kiana might be in the same boat. Not sure. I mean, obviously, the Vex was the last pick, so the Kiana was blind. So maybe I guess the idea is go Predator and roam, or even Electrocute and just roam. I'm not sure, but I definitely think that Red Side's comp is exactly what I like to see. I think that the Kai'Sa pick into the Vayne, I never like that, but I guess if it gets ahead, it'll look good. Like post 6 or whatever. I
I
really
just
hope. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I just like that comp overall. I think it's a very safe, well rounded comp, even though you're going into a vein with a tank and a bruiser, it's still a very safe comp.
Yeah, and I think I really, really hope Xin Zhao doesn't get off like a level 2, level 3 bot cheese. I think if that happens, that's very sad because it's like really obvious. And if it does happen with the Rakan, I think that the Vayne could be very struggle city, especially like so if you kill Vayne pre-6 and then you like kind of farm for a few minutes and then get 6, at level 6, Vayne just dies. They have Kiana, like Kai'Sa Rakan, Vayne should just die to every roam and every gank. So I definitely think that the early game is most important. I think if Red Side have a nice clean early and nothing really happens, they should win. But obviously, I'm predicting Blue Side to win because they're better players. But I think the
Yeah.
draft from Red Team is very good.
I think both drafts are actually pretty excellent as far as this game goes. Uh, big fan all around. I think also that as far as the bot side draft goes, as long as the Vayne Lulu stay safe, keep the vision, keep the communication lines open with their team, track the enemy jungler, this looks like a really positive matchup for them to be able to scale as well.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, I think it is time for us to go into a small break until the spectators up, and you will be back with your casters, KSR and Casual. Right with you.